So hello everyone. So we are welcome back to today's lesson. We are still on that sort, but today we are considering conjugate of surds. So under conjugate of surds, we are going to look at the rule of conjugate. Then after that, we are going to look at the writing of conjugate of given surd. So the last one will be multiplication of surd and its conjugate. So let's start with the first one, which is rule of conjugate. So we have rule of conjugate. So, but before we write the rules of conjugate, what is conjugate? Conjugate, two surds are said to be conjugate of each other if their product give rise to a rational number or non-surd number. Let's take for instance, if we have root 2 minus root 3 multiplied by root 2 plus root 3. So in this question, the surd given is this, while its conjugate is root 2 plus root 3. But we are going to explain this further under the rules of conjugate. So we start with the first rule, which states that, so the first one states that root A plus root B is conjugate is root A minus root B. So the rule of the conjugate says if you have plus in between, so if you have plus in between the surd, the given surd, the plus sign will change to the minus. So the surd given is root A plus root B. So its conjugate is root A minus root B. Also, the second one is root A minus root B. So its conjugate is root A plus root B. So the minus sign change to the plus sign. So the next one is root A minus B. Its conjugate is root A plus B. So the minus sign also change to plus. While the last one is root A plus B, is conjugate is root A minus B. So we still have, it can come in this form as well. Number 5. So you can come in this form, A plus root B. So its conjugate is A plus root B. While the last form of the rule of conjugate is number 6, which is A minus root B. Its conjugate is, its conjugate is A. Okay, here we have A plus root B. It will change to A minus root B. Oh, the last one will now be A plus root B, which is the conjugate of A minus root B. So you can come in any form. You can have this, it will change to A minus root B, or we can have A minus root B, then its conjugate will be A plus root B, vice versa like that. So we move to the next subheading, which is writing of conjugate of given surd. The next one is after rules of conjugate, we move to writing of conjugate of given surd. So writing of conjugate of given surd, we have some examples that we are going to consider under this heading. So examples. Write down the conjugate of each of the following So we have to go on. We have root 2 plus root 3. So the sort given is root 2 plus root 3. So its conjugate is root 2 minus root 3. So the second example, 1 plus root 5. So 1 plus root 5 is a sort given. Then its conjugate is 1 minus root 5. So let me add one more example. So we have got 3. If you have root 3 minus root 5. So its conjugate will be is root 3 plus root 5. So that is that on writing of sort of given, writing of conjugate of given sort. So we have the sort and we have their conjugate like this. So we move to the next heading, which is multiplication of sort and its conjugate. So the next aspect we have to consider is multiplication of sort with its conjugate. So the first example says, the example says multiply the following sort with their conjugate. So we have from figure 1, that is 3 root 2 minus 1, and question 2, 2 plus root 3. So the sort given is 3 root 2 minus 1. According to the question, we have to multiply the sort with its conjugate. So to do that, since the sort given is 3 root 2 minus 1, then multiplied by the conjugate of this sort will now be 3 root 2 plus 1. So we put them together, we have 3 root 2 minus 1 into 3 root 2 plus 1. So we now open the bracket and simplify. So we have use this to multiply the second bracket, that's 3 root 2 from the first bracket, 3 root 2, open bracket, 3 root 2 plus 1, close the bracket, then use the minus 1 to multiply the second bracket as well. So 3 root 2 plus 1. So let's now open the bracket. 3 multiplied by 3 gives us 9. Root 2 multiplied by root 2, that is square root of 4. Then plus 3 root 2 multiplied by 1, that's 3 root 2. Then minus 1, we are done with the first bracket. Then the second term, we have minus 1 times 3 root 2, that's minus 3 root 2. Then minus times plus, that's minus 1 times 1, that is 1. So we now have 9, open bracket, square root of 4 is what? 2. So plus 3 root 2 minus 3 root 2, cancel each other, then minus 1. So we are left with 9 times 2, that is 18, minus 1. 18 minus 1, that is 17. So as the definition of the conjugate implies that conjugate, two sorts are said to be conjugate of each other when their result gives rise to what? Rational number, that is non-sort number. So we have non-sort number when we multiply the sort with its conjugate. So we have rational number, which is non-sort number. So that is the first question. Then question number 2 says multiply the following, multiply 2 plus root 3 with their conjugate. So we have 2 plus root 3 as the sort given. So the conjugate of this will now be, that is the product of the 2 plus root 3, which is the sort given, then multiplied by its conjugate, that is 2 minus root 3. So the next thing to do is to open the bracket and simplify. So we have 2, the first 2 here in the first bracket, multiply the second bracket. That is 2 into 2 minus root 3. That was the first one. Then plus root 3 multiplied by the second bracket as well, which is 2 minus root 3. So we now open the bracket. 2 multiplied by 2, that's 4. 2 multiplied by minus root 3, that is minus 2 root 3. Plus root 3 multiplied by 2, that is plus 2 root 3. Plus times minus, minus. Square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3, that is square root of 9. So we now have 4 minus 2 root 3 plus 2 root 3, 0. So we are left with 4 minus square root of 9, that is 3. So we now have 4 minus 4 minus 3, which is 1. So the sub given, which is 2 plus root 3 multiplied by its conjugate, 2 minus root 3, the answer is 1. These are the answers to the given question. But we still have the short way of solving this, the surd and its conjugate. So let's take number 1 for instance. If we have 2, so let's take number 1 for instance, as we have 3 root 2 minus 1. So the shortcut of this, it will be 3 root 2 squared minus 1 squared. So which is equal to 3 squared 9 into square root of 2 squared, that is ordinary 2, minus 1 squared 1. So which is equal to 9 multiplied by 2, that is 18, minus 1. 18 minus 1 is what? 17. So you can see we have the same answer. So here is the short form of the given question. So the short form of the given question, we have 17 and we have 17. So for the second one, just like the way we did in the first question, so we are going to have 2 squared minus square root of 3 squared. So which is equal to 2 squared is what? That is 4 minus square root of 2, we cancel the root. So we are now left with 3. So 4 minus 3, that is 1. So you can see from the two methods, from the long method and the short method, we have the same value for question 1 and question 2. So you can as well make use of the short method, especially in OBJ. So thank you so much. So this is where we are going to stop for today's class under Conjugate of Surds. In the next video, we will be expecting rationalization of surds. And if you find this video interesting and educative, please give us thumbs up and subscribe to our channel